President Donald Trump on Saturday said the U.S. would take control of Venezuela's massive oil reserves and recruit American companies to invest billions of dollars to refurbish the country's gutted oil industry. What if I told you that a single military operation this weekend could fundamentally reshape the American economy and potentially solve the inflation crisis that's been crushing families for years? President Trump just announced that the United States is taking control of Venezuela's oil industry, and the numbers behind this move are absolutely staggering. We're talking about 303 billion barrels of crude oil, roughly 20% of the entire world's proven reserves, now potentially under American control. This isn't just a geopolitical power play. This is an economic earthquake that could change everything from gas prices to grocery costs to the value of your paycheck. Here's what most people searching for Venezuela economy news and inflation impact don't understand yet. Venezuela sits on the largest oil reserves on planet Earth, even bigger than Saudi Arabia. But under socialist regimes for the past 25 years, production collapsed from 3.5 million barrels per day down to barely 1 million. That's a 75% drop. The infrastructure rotted, the pipelines haven't been updated in 50 years, and the country that should be swimming in wealth became an economic disaster zone. But Trump's announcement on Saturday changed the game completely. He said American oil companies, the biggest in the world, will now go into Venezuela, spend billions rebuilding the broken infrastructure, and start pumping oil at levels the country hasn't seen in decades.
Now let's talk about what this means for your wallet, because this is where it gets really interesting for anyone worried about the US economy and inflation. Right now, oil prices have been relatively stable, around $57 per barrel, but that's partly because of oversupply fears and OPEC ramping up production. If American companies successfully restore Venezuelan oil production over the next 5 to 10 years, we could see a massive new supply of crude flooding global markets. More supply typically means lower prices, and lower oil prices directly translate into lower inflation across the board. Think about it. Gas gets cheaper, shipping costs drop, manufacturing becomes less expensive. Suddenly, the cost of literally everything from food to furniture starts coming down, because energy is the foundation of the entire economy. But here's the catch that energy analysts are already warning about. Venezuela's oil isn't the light, sweet crude that America produces. It's heavy, sour crude, thick and difficult to refine, requiring special equipment and technical expertise. The good news is that most U.S. refineries were actually built to process exactly this type of Venezuelan oil, making them significantly more efficient when using it compared to American crude. This heavy oil is crucial for producing diesel, asphalt, and industrial fuels that are currently in tight supply worldwide, partly because of sanctions that cut off Venezuelan exports. Unlocking this supply could ease the diesel shortage that's been driving up costs for trucking, construction, and manufacturing across America.
The timeline matters here. Experts say it could take 5 to 10 years and potentially $58 billion in infrastructure investment to bring Venezuelan production back to peak levels. That means immediate inflation relief is unlikely, but medium-term economic benefits could be substantial. Trump called the operation a masterful success and promised that U.S. companies would make money for Venezuela while rebuilding the industry. But the reality is messier. Political instability, the cost of refining heavy crude, and the sheer scale of infrastructure decay all present massive challenges. Oil markets open Sunday night, and traders will be watching closely to see if this ambitious plan can actually deliver on its promises, or if it becomes another failed nation-building exercise that costs billions without solving America's inflation problem. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the outcome will determine whether your grocery bill finally starts coming down, or whether this was just another headline that changes nothing for struggling families.